Hey everyone, Jamie here from technicalcafe.com. Welcome to your 23rd HTML tutorial. In the previous tutorial we talked about creating iframes in HTML and how we can use them to display multiple web pages if we wanted to within another web page. And this is different from frames in that frames allow you to display multiple web pages within the same tab or browser window. But in this tutorial I figured we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, and that is two things actually, HTML doctypes and how to put comments in HTML. The first thing we're going to talk about though is HTML doctypes. And if you'll notice right here we have this code here and it produces this web page up here. And if we refresh just to make sure everything's good. So basically this is our web page that's produced from this code, and it looks like a lot of code went into producing this website, or 3 lines of text. So right here we have our header and then 2 paragraphs. So what we're going to be doing is talking about how doctypes are used in HTML as well as how to insert comments into your HTML code. Which is important not only in HTML, but once you start programming in other languages like JavaScript, PHP, Java, C++, stuff like that, comments start to become more and more important as the code gets more and more complex. So, as you'll notice right here, we have our HTML tags, and then the rest of the stuff, the head, the body, headers, and paragraphs. And now we have 2 new things. We have a doctype up here, and we have a comment down here. So let's talk about the doctype first. What the doctype does is it basically tells the browser how to display whatever it is that you're writing your code for. So for instance, here we're using the transitional HTML doctype, and you can find more information about these doctypes over here on these 2 web pages. On the W3 Schools website, this is a page about HTML doctypes, and there's a bunch of different doctypes you can try using. And this one's just about the doctype tag in the declaration, and tells you a little bit more. It goes a little bit more in depth about the tag of the doctype here. So these will be linked up in the description, so you can take a look at those and choose the doctype that you wanted to. So doctypes are recommended to be inserted into your HTML code because it tells the browser how to render the pages according to the doctype definition. So here are a couple different doctypes. We have HTML 4.01 strict, transitional, which is the one that we're using here, and the one that we're using it contains all elements and attributes in HTML, including presentational and depreciated elements like the font one, but it doesn't allow frame sets like we talked about in 2 tutorials ago. So this one is pretty much all we're going to be using because I'm not using frame sets in this. So feel free to go over to these 2 web pages over here and take a look at what's going on with the doctypes and the different doctypes that are available to you. So let's come over to our code. And just so you know, a doctype is not actually an HTML tag. It doesn't go within your HTML code, it goes above it. So just kind of something to let you know. So here we have in our Notepad++ the doctype inserted right above the code here. And doctypes have only one tag. It's an opening tag, no closing tag, similar to how you'd write a BR. And to start a doctype, all you do is you type in exclamation point, doctype, HTML public, and then some quotation marks. And now right here you would put the doctype that you're using, similar to up here, and then you would just put some information as to where you can find information about it or what the doctype is. So I just copied and pasted this doctype over here from the W3 Schools website. I copied and pasted it from right here. And it's not necessary that you use doctypes, but it is recommended just in case some browsers have some issues with displaying certain content. They know what they're supposed to be displaying and how to display it. But I haven't personally used doctypes before, and I haven't really encountered many problems. And I know in the previous couple tutorials I never mentioned doctypes, so it's kind of up to you if you want to use it or not. It's recommended if you're going to be doing work for, I don't know, clients or something, and you want the web page to be standardized and professional. I'd suggest you throw in a doctype. But again, it's not really necessary. But it's up to you if you want to use it. It's recommended, so just figured I'd show you that. And something else I wanted to show you is actually how to insert comments into HTML. And like I said in the beginning of this tutorial, in HTML comments we never actually used throughout the first 22 tutorials. But again, I figured I'd show you how to insert those, especially if you're going to start programming in other languages like Java, C++, JavaScript, PHP. Because once the code starts getting more complex and you have loops and stuff going on and if statements and stuff kind of gets confusing, you're going to want to be able to tell other people as well as yourself when you go back and look at the code what stuff does. So right here you can see that we have a comment, And this comment right here says comments are used to remind yourself and others what your code does. And this comment doesn't actually show up on our web page here, though I did include a paragraph about comments. So comments are only displayed within the code. They're not displayed in the end result or in the web page. And they're just used to remind you what the code does, or if you come back to it, I don't know, a couple weeks later and you don't remember, you can just insert a comment to remind yourself, or if you're working in a team, someone can insert a comment to remind you what's going on. So in HTML, this is how you go about making a comment. It's just simple. It's one tag, and you just start off like a doc type with an exclamation point, and then 2 dashes, and then another 2 dashes to end it. And in between these 2 dashes, you can write in your comment. So we can say this is a comment in HTML, and anything between these 2 tags and dashes in this exclamation point here is considered a comment in HTML. So if we save this and come over here and refresh, you'll notice that we don't get anything on the screen here, and that's because the comment is it's essentially hidden from whatever's being displayed. It's only visible in the code. However, if we come over here and view the source, oops, I clicked on something. If we view the source, you can see the comments. So if you go on other websites and view sources, you might be able to see comments that other programmers and HTML coders left. And that's always interesting to do, I guess. But this is basically how you leave a comment. And the doc type also shows up here. But anyway, this is pretty much what this tutorial is about. Comments can be used for whatever you want to do. So for instance, you're creating a form and you want to tell people what it's about or what certain elements do, you can create a comment. And you can say, like, this form is not finished, please remember to work on it. And then whoever else is coding after you can come in and see your comment and see what's going on. So just feel free to play around with these ideas, feel free to use them. Just figured we haven't used them in the past 22 tutorials, so I figured I'd introduce it now. So feel free to play around with them and see how they work, and have a great day.